Welcome back. Joining us on the show now is Deepak Ballani. He's DG at ISMA. Mr. Ballani, thank you so much for joining in. And the season 25-26 for the sugar industry has started on a positive note, with government allowing 1.5 million tons of export. The concern, though, for immediately would be the parity, because the international sugar prices are trading at a multi-year lows. When do you see an opportunity window opening up for India to be able to export?
Thank you, Manisha ji, for having me in your show. First of all, we welcome the government's decision to permit the export of 15 lakh tons of sugar for this season. And as requested by ISMA, based on the surplus sugar production which we are expecting in this season, so this timely move will definitely enable the industry to plan the production plan for both raws and whites. And this will also ease the domestic stock pressure and also somehow try to stabilize the domestic prices. Having said that, as very rightly mentioned by you, the parity is not there in the international market today. Well, London white today is around $410 per ton, which approximately comes to around 34,000 per ton. And even the New York raw is around 14.1 cents, which approximately is 28,000. So the parity is not there, but we are hoping, and as we had requested the government, that an advance permission will help us in perhaps planning for the raw production, as well as also doing some advance contracts. And we are hoping, looking into the situation where there is an expected trade gap in LQW starting mid-December until 31st of March, when the Brazil sugar is not in the international market. So there could be a parity. Okay. And having said that, we are hoping that we will have a window for 3.5 months where we can export raw and both whites in the international market. 15 lakh tons should be doable, I believe.
Mr. Ballani, one thing done, but there is still, it's still desirable that the ethanol diversion and the MSP and then the ethanol price revision, I mean, those are three top things for the industry. Are you anticipating that that being something that industry would also get from the government?
Definitely, yes. The expectation is always there. We never lose hope, and that is the job of ISMA, to always try and help the industry through policy advocacy. And very rightly said, so this is a good start of the season where we have got an advance permission to export. Having said that, this is a temporary relief, definitely will give a boost to the industry, but a long-term permanent reform structure specifically related to the revision in MSP and ethanol prices, as well as ethanol allocation, is a very, very important aspect, which perhaps need correction by the government through their policy intervention. MSP, which has not been revised for last 5 to 6 years, still stagnated 31 rupees a kilo, which is very unrealistic given the fact the FRP and FSAP has increased, and the realistic cost of production today is almost 41 to 42 rupees. So in order to make sure that the domestic XP prices don't drop below 40, 41, there has to be an MSP. Perhaps that is the only thing which will give a good support to the industry as well as farmers. And as you very rightly said, ethanol pricing, we have been discussing this for quite a long time. But I believe that also, to me, I think it is somewhere in the horizon, and definitely we will be able to achieve the price correction in both juice and B-heavy, as well as the ethanol allocation. Allocation has been very poor this time, 290 crore litre, right. Very poor. So we will have a lot of unutilized capacity. So we have suggested certain measures for the immediate relief for the ethanol capacities to be utilized, and also some permanent and long-term relief.
Mr. Ballani, I also want to talk to you about the kind of investments that the sugar industry have made in sense of ethanol. And as you said, the capacities are underutilized, allocations much less than what the street was anticipating. So how much are the underutilized capacities right now for ethanol? What is the kind of investment that has been made for ethanol? And would you say that is at this point in time at a pause, because we do not know whether or not there is a framework or a plan in the very near term for beyond E20?
No, as very rightly mentioned, industry has invested 40,000 crore rupees and has capacity of almost 900 crore litre. And this capacity was put up by the industry based on the Niti Aayog's report, which said when India will achieve E20, the 55% of the share will be with the sugar feedstock. And also the ethanol blending program, where there was a commitment of both offtake and pricing based on FRP. Now, that is something which is not happening. Allocation has been near 289 crore litre against the expected 450, 500 crore litre. So that definitely, so the capacity utilization is hardly 30-35%, which is very, very low. And it is very, really unviable for our capacities to be operational. And it's not viable. So it directly affects the entire sugar balance sheet and also puts pressure on the domestic prices and ultimately puts pressure on the cane areas. Having said that, I think there are certain measures which needs to be taken in allocation. One is that at least reserve 50% of the ethanol allocation for sugar feedstock so that we have 50% share and we have a guaranteed offtake. We also, for example, there are certain priorities for juice and the heavy within the state. Perhaps we have requested the government that the priority should also be extended beyond the state in the deficit states as well.
Okay.
And third is that, we import almost 100 crore liter of denatured alcohol for our ENA use and chemical industry. And since we have too much of capacity today, which is unutilized, maybe the import could be restricted and the denatured alcohol by the chemical industry could be procured by the ethanol production capacities in India.
Okay.
And also we have requested the government to allow export of denatured alcohol, ethanol. So even although there is no parity as of now, but if the permission is there and we see that there is a parity coming, at least the industry could export some of it outside. And the cycle 2, which we are expecting for Q3 and Q4, which perhaps could be around 150 to 200 crore liter, we have requested the government to at least reserve 100 crore liter for the sugar feedstock.
Okay.
These are some of the immediate relief which could be provided to the sugar industry. This is something which is perhaps could be provided to the industry immediately.
Okay, absolutely. Point taken there, Mr. Ballani. Thank you so much, Manisha, as well as Mr. Ballani, for joining us this afternoon for the conversation as well. But on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. After the break, we'll get you the management of Aarti Trucks to decode their Q2 numbers. Stay tuned in.